Yes.
What are the steps that need to be taken to fix the damages done to inflation?
Stop spending.
First and foremost, stop the overspending. Inflation, high taxes, deficits, high interest rates are all symptoms. The disease is overspending. When governments spend too much money, there's only three ways to get it. One is to raise your taxes, the other is to borrow, which means that they'll tax you more later on. And the third way is to print money. Now, printing money seems like a painless way to pay for things, but it's very simple. If you have 10 apples and $10 in the economy, it's a bucket apple. If you double the number of dollars in the economy to 20, you still only have 10 apples. You're not twice as rich, it's just that each apple costs twice as much. And that is a tax on the working people because it chews up the purchasing power of your paycheck, only to pay for excessive government spending, and it balloons the asset values of the billionaires. So it's a real transfer from the have-nots to the have-yots. Inflation is the worst and most immoral tax. It always results from government creating cash. Our government has created about $700 billion of cash in the last 3 years. So we used to have $1.8 trillion of bills, coins, and bank deposits.
Just on that note, he's talking about M1, M2, and M3 money supply. M2 money supply has grown at something like 34% in the last 3 years, when it usually grows about 7% a year. So
that was about 3-4 years ago. Now it's up to 2.5 trillion.
Everything.
So that's extra cash, but the economy has only grown by 4%. So the real things in the economy have only grown by 4%. The cash has grown by 40. So the money supply is growing 10 times faster than the stuff money buys, which creates a bidding war, and that's what's driving up inflation. We have to cap government spending with a dollar-for-dollar law that requires my ministers find $1 of savings for every new dollar of spending, so that they go into their departments, find the waste and mismanagement. They want to spend more here, they have to spend less there, or get a bargain here and there to bring both under budget. Then and only then will we stop the money printing, borrowing, and overtaxation and wrestle inflation to the ground. Thank you.
Okay, so this is what he's talking about here, just particularly with M2 money supply, which is anything that can be readily converted to cash, like your bank deposits and just the amount of actual bills in circulation. So like, as you see, when Justin Trudeau took office, he has like more than doubled the money supply. And here we are here with the Bank of Canada's own data. You can even see that the money supply has been ballooned over time. And it doesn't take someone to be a finance major to understand like what's happened in other countries that have done this before. For example, in Greece or in Venezuela. These are widely studied things in economics. People understand what happens when you print too much money. Unlike Justin Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland, who seem to think that money just grows on trees and it doesn't affect inflation. Inflation is now being caused by the war in Ukraine, even though we do less than like 2% of our global trade to Ukraine. They're also blaming it on COVID, as if not every other country had to deal with COVID, and look at their inflation compared to ours. It's just a ridiculous excuse for money printing.